Oh man, I was muted the whole time. Okay, start over, start over, start over. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is October 23rd. It is now 11:02 a.m. And this is episode 238 of our show. And oh my goodness, these are the days that we dream about for those of us that are in this kind of industry where you're covering news. And especially for me, I do a daily show, and news is a beautiful thing. When there's actual legitimate news stories, it is a beautiful thing. And if you watched yesterday's episode, you might notice that I didn't discover the drama that was going on until the very, very end of yesterday's show. We really didn't get into it. I've seen a whole bunch of tweets. We got a whole bunch of information. So it is going to be absolutely interesting to try to break this thing down and try to understand what is going on here. And also to think about the ramifications of potentially what is going on here. A lot of people out there will say this is much ado about nothing. Like there's going to be a rift too. There's going to be another rift eventually. This is much ado about nothing. I kind of disagree with that. I think this is a pretty big deal. I think there will be ramifications. There will be fallout. However, here's what we're going to do. We'll get to that in just a minute. I got a couple of other things to cover first, and then we can go ahead and get into the Oculus drama and cover that in depth. But before we go any further, I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, let me throw on a trailer here. Hold on one sec. Let's see here. Ooh, that's the wrong thing. Here we go. So I wanted to throw on a trailer here. This is the Witching Tower VR. And I just wanted to remind everybody, does everybody remember that this game is coming out in a couple of days? This game, I believe, comes out on Thursday, and it is the Witching Tower VR. Now, this was a game that we were looking at as possibly one of the biggest VR games in the month of October. Certainly Astrobot is the big VR game in the month of October. We did get Evasion on October 9th, another pretty big game. And Wardust kind of came out of nowhere. We didn't have Wardust on our charts at all. We got Wardust. That is a big game as well. But the Witching Tower VR, this might actually be one of the biggest games of the month. And I did receive a key from Daily Magic Productions, and I'm going to be playing this game later today. And I'm going to try to put at least a solid hour into it, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'll see how much I can get into this. But I do want to give it some legit action today. And I will be talking about this game tomorrow. I will be talking about my first impressions on the Witching Tower VR. The embargo is over with tomorrow, prior to our Wednesday episode. So I will be talking about this on tomorrow's episode, and then it does come out on October 25th, I believe. Let me go ahead and bounce over here. This is the Witching Tower VR. You can see it is available on October 25th. This game will unlock in approximately 1 day and 23 hours. And it is coming to us from Daily Magic Productions. Looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks pretty interesting. It looks like it's kind of mixing puzzle gameplay along with the dungeon crawler type gameplay. And those of us that have been big fans of Carnage Chronicles, big fans of Vanishing Realms, big fans of those kinds of games, and then also maybe big fans of puzzle games and also kind of horror games as well, looks pretty sweet. So I'm looking forward to getting into this a little bit later today. So I did want to mention that real quick. Okay, now there's something else I want to mention real quick before we get into the major Oculus show. Don't worry about that. We will be talking all Oculus CV2 all the time in a little bit here. But before we get to that, I wanted to throw on another trailer. Now, this one I'm going to have to resize this window a little bit here. Okay, so what is this? This is Super Mario Brothers. This is 8-bit Super Mario Brothers. And if you guys saw the last VR Roundtable episode that we did, episode 100, Steve was talking a little bit about playing the 3D NES emulator that is available out there. And what I didn't know at the time, so he was talking all about this 3D NES VR that allows you to play a number of Nintendo Entertainment System games in a pseudo 3D diorama kind of mode in VR. Sounds really cool. You can get it for 15 bucks, and I think there's maybe like 20 Nintendo Entertainment System games that will work with this, and maybe more are being added as we move on. But I wasn't really thinking about this too much. However, I was on the Oculus Rift subreddit yesterday, and have you noticed I like to do this? Has anybody else noticed I like to do this? Yeah. What's up, guys? I like to do this. But what I noticed on the Oculus Rift subreddit yesterday, somebody was saying there's a demo for 3D NES VR on Steam, like a freaking demo on Steam. So I was like, yeah, why not? So I bounced over to Steam, I got the demo, and I tried this out. And you know what? I gotta say, man, this is freaking hella cool. Like, this is a lot cooler than I ever thought it was going to be, because when Steve was talking about it, I was interested in it. I've heard about this. I've seen the videos of this before, and it looks super interesting, but I've always been the kind of person, first of all, number one, I'm not really into the old 8-bit stuff. My retro gaming love really starts in the early 90s with the TurboGrafx. The TurboGrafx 16, you want to talk about a deep cut right there. The Sega Genesis, of course, and the Super Nintendo. I love 16-bit gaming and up. Not a huge fan of 8-bit gaming as much as you would think. Most retro gamers love 8-bit gaming, and they feel like it's the most classic era there is. I kind of liked the bump that we got with 16-bit, the extra colors, the parallax scrolling, and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, the bottom line here is I got into this demo, and you need to find some ROMs, though. They're not going to provide you with the ROMs for this. So you need to go get the Super Mario Brothers ROM. You need to go get the Donkey Kong ROM. You need to get the Kung Fu whatever ROM. You know, there's basically about 10 games that they offer up in the demo. Let me go ahead and switch over to... this is the Steam page right here. 3D NES VR turns your NES games into 3D and let you play it in VR. This is being brought to us by Geode Studio, the developer and publisher, Geode Studio. And there are a number of games that work with this. Super Mario Brothers, Circus Charlie, Elevator Action, Battle City 1990, Dr. Mario, Donkey Kong, Kung Fu, Legend of Kaje, Tetris, and I believe there's additional games as well, but there's a demo right here, folks. Download demo, download demo. And this is super small. I highly encourage everybody out there, go ahead and download this. Grab yourself a Super Mario Brothers ROM and try this out. It is super cool. Now, the thing that I was talking about, if you got, and here I am again doing this. The thing that I was talking about on the VR Roundtable episode is I believe we pay a price when we put on a VR headset. When you put on a VR headset, there is a price that you're paying. Ideally, let's be honest, folks. Let's be honest. Wouldn't it be better if we could just stand here and like some magical holograms just filled everywhere and we're basically in the holodeck and we're not wearing a damn thing on our head? That would be better. That would definitely be better. But we're not there yet, okay? We might be, say, 200 years away from that. And so right now, in the here and now, we got to strap a heavy thing onto our head, and it runs at a certain refresh rate. Your eyes are going to have some fatigue. You're probably going to get a little bit sweaty. It's not going to be incredibly comfortable. There's going to be some comfort problems as well. And that's the price we pay for putting on a VR headset. Yeah, you know what? This, my trailer is going really choppy. Not sure what the deal is with that. Let's switch back over to this area right here. But basically, you know, you're going to pay a price. You're going to pay a price for putting on a VR headset. And I was saying that I don't think the price is worth it to play a retro game. I don't think the price is worth it. But I got in here and I played some Super Mario Brothers on this thing right here, and I was freaking impressed. This was really cool. I really liked it. It really is this diorama. Imagine, if you will, that somebody made a Lego set that is Super Mario Brothers 1, and that, say it's like somewhere between 7 and 9 inches deep, a Lego diorama that is playing out in front of you, where you kind of see it from a side angle, kind of Zaxxon style, and you see the 3D depth everywhere. And that's what they've done with this, and oh my goodness, it works well. It really works well. I was impressed by this. And you know what? I think I am willing to pay the price. In fact, I plan on probably getting this. Well, you can get it right now. Now, it's coming to Steam on January 21st, 2019. Not sure why there's such an incredibly long delay to get this on Steam. I could get this right now. You can get it just as a separate application for 15 bucks. And you know, I'm pretty freaking tempted to get this. I really am, because I was super impressed with what I played last night. I played this thing last night and I was very impressed. Yeah, Zelda works. The only thing I tried was Super Mario Brothers. I didn't have any other ROMs because I had already started this up and I was looking on my PC for some ROMs. I did have this ROM, but I didn't have like Kung Fu or Battle City 1990 or any of these things. So I do need to pick up some ROMs, and you got to be careful, man, because there are some websites out there that are shady as F that you can get ROMs from. Be careful where you get your ROMs from. Unfortunately, I don't have a suggestion on where to get the ROMs from. I know that I have a couple CDs somewhere in my room here. I have CDs that have like every freaking ROM known to man, so I can go get these old Nintendo Entertainment System ROMs and somehow get them onto my computer. Maybe I'll give Donkey Kong not Donkey Kong Country. I wish I could play Donkey Kong Country, but maybe I'll try the Donkey Kong and a few of these other ones that are available in the demo, and I'll report back on this again. This is cool, though. Check this out. Ladies and gentlebots, absolutely check this out. Okay, so we got another story to go to now. We're going to get to Oculus. Hold your horses. We're getting there. Now, the next story that I have here is, let's see if this is the right video that I want to pop onto the screen. Okay, yeah, it is the right video. I got to resize this. Okay, now you're probably asking yourself, what the hell is this? Now, this is a crowd of people somewhere on planet Earth, and they are heading to an event. And so what this is in China. Ladies and gentlemen, this is in, let's see, where is it in China? It's in Nanchang, China. This is the 2018 World Conference on VR Industry. See this lady right here that this person is filming the back of her head? She is walking to go into this conference. Look at these crowds, folks. This isn't like the new Avatar movie or a good Star Wars movie. What are these crowds doing? Where are they going? They are going to the 2018 World Conference on VR Industry in Nanchang, China. And these people are going to check out VR. These people are hyped. They want to check out VR. And so the thing that I want to say here is, here in America, especially in California, especially in the Silicon Valley, VR's dead. You know, VR is dead. It's time to pack it up. It's over. VR's dead. But guess what? We live on a planet that includes other countries and other populations, and VR is not dead worldwide. In fact, VR is just getting going. Look at these people in China. These people are hyped. They are down. I think it's time for all of us to maybe move to China because VR seems to be appreciated there. Now, I have some other pictures here. I want to scroll through. I have some different pictures. This is going on at the 2018 World Conference on VR Industry. Possibly 200,000 people have attended this. I have a number of different pictures here where it kind of shows what's going on. There were a number of keynote speeches and events and stuff, kind of like an Oculus Connect 5, but just on a much huger scale. all kind of companies were involved here. Basically, everybody that is doing anything in VR from a worldwide focus, especially if they want to be involved in China, they have a booth here. They are demoing stuff here. Honestly, this is single-handedly the reason that HTC Vive, like HTC as a company, may still survive. HTC as a company may still survive when we see these kinds of crowds and the interest level that is going on in China that is surrounding VR. There is an amazing interest in VR in China. In fact, I think there was some kind of thing that was said somewhere. I believe Alvin Wang Graylin was talking about how like 90% of the population of China has heard about VR. How incredible is that? So VR may be dead on this side of the pond, but over there, VR is alive and well. And that is a beautiful thing, no question about it. I mean, just look at these crowds. Look at this huge crowds of people. I mean, what is going on here? Like a brand new Krispy Kreme donut shop was just opened up, a brand new Chick-fil-A. Why are there so many crowds heading somewhere? They are really into VR. That is so cool. Like, what if people here were that into VR? Maybe we would still have an Oculus Rift CV2. Okay, so let's see. What else did I want to get into? Were that all the initial stories before we get into all the Oculi drama? I think that was pretty... Oh, you know, War Dust. Hold a minute. Hold a minute. Let's get into just a little bit of War Dust before we move any further. Okay, so check this out. I played some more War Dust yesterday, and let me turn this down a little bit. I played some more War Dust yesterday, and damn it, do I suck. I am simply not good at this game. I get killed left and right. But here's the good news. The good news is I got to try a couple of new maps. The main map that we were in, most of us... So I got into this map. This is just, I believe, called Middle East. There's like a Dubai something. There's a Middle East one, and then there's another one. I can't remember the name of it. But basically, I've now tried 3 different maps. And the one thing that I can tell you about this game, War Dust, let me go ahead, actually, let me look up the Steam page for War Dust, because I know it's on sale right now, but I know the sale is going to end at a certain point. And so I wanted to highlight this before this sale is over. Okay, so War Dust is on sale right now for 15 bucks. This promotion ends on the 26th. So this ends in a matter of days. The reviews are very positive, 143 reviews. This came out on October 19th. This is War Dust that we're talking about. And so here's my take on this. My take on this is I freaking suck. I'm just not good. And the bottom line is I don't think I'll be playing this game very much because it's just not my jam. Asking me to play this game like asking somebody that knows nothing about sports and has no interest in sports, and you're asking them to play John Madden football, or you're asking them to play NBA 2K. That's kind of the way it is with me in these games, because I step out onto the field and I get killed immediately. I did get inside a jet. There's a jet that is on the freeway in one of these maps. I think it might have been this Middle East map, actually. I got inside a jet. I started up the engines, and then I got stuck on the side railing of the freeway and could never get back, and then had to get out of the jet. So I haven't actually flown any of these planes. I have been in an ATV. I do kind of understand how movement works now. So the way movement works is you gotta keep your arms down, guys, if you want to move fast. If you have either one of your hands up in the air a little bit, you slow down dramatically. So you got to keep your arms down and then move your thumbstick, and you still move rather slow. But I did kind of figure this out. And then the other thing, guys, guess what? I killed somebody. I killed somebody in War Dust. In all the time that I've played this game, I've killed one person, one individual person. And when I killed that guy, I told him, I said, dude, you must really suck because I've never killed anybody. You're my first kill. It's still kind of fun for me to hop in every once in a while. And the nice thing about it, with such big groups of people playing 32 versus 32, and then also there's bots mixed in as well, I think. But with so many people playing, if you do suck, you can kind of hide, you know, you can kind of, you're not costing your team the entire game if you suck. So that's nice as well. That is Wardust. Just wanted to talk about that briefly. But it was a bot, Anthony. Maybe it was. No, I think it was a real person because it popped up on the screen like the person's name and it had VR game rankings like I killed that guy. I think I killed somebody. I might still play that a few times. It's just I suck. It's like I used to be really good at Madden and NBA 2K and those types of games. I used to be really good at that stuff. And could you imagine somebody that is like not good at these things trying to play Madden or NBA 2K? It would be very similar. It'd be this similar kind of a thing. So, you know, that's kind of my deal with Wardust. But for 15 bucks, basically the bottom line I want to say with this though, is if you are an Onward person, if you are a Pavlov person, if you're into standout, if this is your type of thing, you know what? You probably want to get Wardust, I think, for 15 bucks, especially considering that PC VR is basically dying. We're only going to get a handful of these things, so you better grab them while they're there, I guess, right? Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get into the entire drama that took place yesterday. And so, yeah, this is a dark day in the reality of VR. This is a dark day. And the truth of the matter is that basically decisions are made, big time decisions are made in boardrooms. Companies sometimes are going in certain directions and at the last second they say, you know what, cancel that shit, we're going in this direction, we are making a harsh decision and we are going in this direction. And that appears to be the situation that we're in with this entire Oculus Rift situation. Brendan Iribe, the whole thing, it is kind of crazy here. Let's see, why don't I go to some of the various websites that are covering all of this. And, you know, this story has gone back and forth. It is going in a million different directions. And why don't we kind of start off a little bit at the beginning here. And so this was the original story where it all started off. We heard that the former Oculus CEO, Brendan Iribe, is departing Facebook. Now, when I started my show yesterday, I saw this story, but I didn't know that there was this rumor out there that he left because basically what essentially is the Oculus Rift 2, the CV2, as we know it, that project has basically just been axed. It is chopped. It is off the block. Now, does that mean that we're not ever going to get a PC VR headset from Oculus? I think that is very unlikely. We will get additional PC VR headsets, but is it a situation, though, where maybe the focus has moved away from PC VR and maybe the focus is really on standalone, and maybe Facebook internally, now this is my own personal gut instinct, but my own personal gut instinct tells me that Facebook is going to continue to support their PC VR market with the Oculus Rift, the Oculus Store, that entire ecosystem. They will continue to support it, but they won't have their heart in it. They will not have their heart in it. Their heart is going to be behind standalone products like the Oculus Quest. That is my personal take on all of this after reading everything. Now, you're going to have denials. Everybody is going to deny stuff. There's news that's going to come out and denials are going to happen. Spin is going to happen. They're not, Facebook is never going to come out and say, guess what, guys? We're not going to do PC VR anymore. They'll do that at the last possible second. They're not going to just come out and say that. So anybody thinking that that's going to happen, you're just living in a dream world here. And of course, now Facebook is going to have their spin. And let me go ahead and resize this. This is a tweet from Nate Mitchell. This is basically what I'm calling the reassurance tweet. Sorry that Oculus Connect 5 one was 720p and I didn't convert. And here we go. Okay, so here is the Nate Mitchell tweet. And I believe this is the reassurance tweet. This is the calm the F down tweet, everybody. Chill the F out. So here's what Nate Mitchell is saying. A lot of questions today about the future of Rift. We're still driving forward on the Rift PC platform with new hardware, software, and content. Lots of great stuff in the works. More to share in the months ahead. That is Nate Mitchell. So Oculus is not abandoning the PC. In fact, I even have a newer quote, a more recent quote from an Oculus spokesperson to VentureBeat. Now, here's the quote. We aren't quite ready to talk about the next version of Rift, but PC VR is still a category we are investing in. It's still part of our strategy. We're continuing work across product and content, and you'll see this manifest next year. Additionally, Nate continues to lead the Rift PC team, and there are no changes there. Okay, so basically Facebook and Oculus, they're coming out with all these official statements, and they're saying, wait a minute, we are still very much supporting the PC. We are sticking with the Oculus Rift. There are going to be future products on the Oculus Rift from a hardware standpoint. There is going to be software. There is going to be content. We've got lots of great stuff in the works. Don't worry about it, folks. You're going to continue to see this stuff manifest next year, 2019. And so that's kind of their response. That is Oculus's response. And so a lot of people are like, well, you know, is TechCrunch, like, is this a completely fabricated story by TechCrunch? Are they just making shit up? Where did they get this? Is this fake news? What is going on here? And so TechCrunch, you know, they responded to that as well. This is Lucas Matney. He tweeted out, and he works for TechCrunch. I believe he reported on this story, and here's what he had to say about it. He says, look, plans to build a PC headset further down the line is a different clarification than them shelving plans for a productized, is that a word? Rift 2 headset. There may be future headset with the Rift name, but the next generation that was being planned has been canceled. And you know what? Here's the deal, guys. I think this shit is true. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to believe this is true. I actually believe this is true because I don't think, look, I know there are websites that will fabricate shit out of the blue. They will make something up, and all they have to do is claim that they have an inside source. And so you can pretty much make up any rumor you want, and you can try to stick to your guns, and you can try to generate a lot of traffic to your website. I don't think this is the case. I think they do have some people that are on the inside, and I think this is the whispers that came down the pipe. I believe that Brendan Iribe was really behind a particular product, and that product, they pulled the plug. They simply pulled the plug on that product. And I have a lot of explanations about that. I have a lot of theories about that. Why did they pull the product? And I think they pulled it because look at Oculus. Look at the amount of money that they're spending on the Respawn game, on Defector, on Stormland, on all these games. They're spending millions upon millions upon millions of dollars backing these AAA experiences that we've gotten in VR so far. And we got to be feeling a little bit grateful for what we have received and for all the money they have blown. Because the truth of the matter is they have helped advance VR probably 3 or 4 years farther than we would have ever gotten otherwise. So this has worked out good from that standpoint. But if you're Oculus and if you've made an internal decision that your future really is standalone, your future is walled garden, your future is standalone, your future is Best Buy, your future is Target, your future is Walmart. They're going to have a box this next spring for $399 that you can buy that is all in one. It has everything. There is nothing to set up. You don't have to set up USB sensors. You don't have to make sure you have an NVIDIA card. You don't have to make sure you have a USB in a tech card. You don't have to put lighthouses anywhere. There's no cameras. It is, I mean, well, there's cameras, but they're all built in. Everything is built in. It's an all-in-one device. And if Oculus and Facebook internally know that this is their future, are you going to continue to drop millions upon millions upon millions of dollars funding these incredibly expensive, elaborate PC VR games like Stormland, like Defector, like the Respawn game? If you're doing all of that, but that's not your focus anymore, then why would you blow all those millions of dollars? So I believe Oculus internally, they've decided standalone is their future. That is where they're going. And that's just the situation at hand. Okay, hold on, Sarah. I'm going to go ahead and just, we've been on this tweet for a minute. Let me go ahead and bounce off this tweet. And then also, you know what I should do? I should take out a little bit of time and actually read what the hell people are talking about in chat, right? Okay, so hold on here. I'm going to just put on Rift change the game. We'll put on that. Okay, let's see what people are talking about in chat. Paradise Decay. Oh my God, Anthony. Half-Life 3 VR has just been confirmed. Are you? I mean, come on, man. Crunchy says, someone leaving the company they started after being bought out is very common. Some people like the startup environment, and then they got bought out and lose that. Okay, yeah, that is very, very typical. Carmack is leaving Oculus. That is a question. Well, you know, we can go ahead and talk about the Carmack thing. I wasn't going to bring that up right now, but Carmack actually responded to another person's tweet that he is sticking with Oculus at least beyond the launch. Let me see if I can find it here. John Carmack. Yeah, okay, here's this tweet. So Ian Hamilton tweeted at John Carmack, and I'm guessing it's the Ian Hamilton of Upload VR, right? There's an Ian Hamilton there. He says, I'd love a comment from Carmack basically saying whether or not he's planning to stay at Facebook past the launch of the Oculus Quest. The interview I've been after boils down to that singular question, and John Carmack decided to go ahead and comment on this, and he says, look, I do intend to stay at Facebook past the launch of the Oculus Quest. And one of the good things that we could think about here is John Carmack is very into the mobile side of VR. I think ultimately John Carmack understands that if you want true, legitimate mass adoption, if you really want to get the masses involved with VR, and see, Facebook, here's the bottom line, guys. Facebook is a big-ass company. They're not interested in a tiny niche. I'm sorry, they're not. They don't care about a small subset of PC gamers that happen to be into VR. For Facebook, they're such a huge company that it's just not even worth their time unless they have a big-ass market that they're addressing. And that's why they're going down the standalone road. And it's the right move. It's the right move. Sure, me and you, we're graphics whores. We want the ultimate experience. We want Primordian, you know? We want to stand in an avatar jungle and be surrounded in a world that is so incredibly lush and vivid and magical with the best tracking you could possibly get, no kind of hiccups or anything. We want giant field of view. We want eye tracking, foveated rendering. We want the elimination of screen door effect. We want no God rays. You know, we want all these things. We want to be so immersed in a VR experience. We are the high-end players. We are the hardcore. But the problem is there simply isn't enough of us to be viable for a gigantic ass company like Facebook. And what they're doing right now is they are spending so much freaking money making shit like Stormland for such a tiny fraction of the population. Let me go ahead and throw on a Stormland trailer since I'm talking about this anyway. Let's see here. I mean, Facebook, look at this game right here. How much money, seriously, how much money did Facebook Oculus have to throw at Insomniac to get them to do a major primetime game like this. This is an investment of at least 10 million, maybe 15 million, maybe 20 million. Maybe we would be shocked beyond belief to realize how much money Facebook is throwing at this. But the point that I'm making here is the PC VR market, man, it's not the greatest market right now, especially when you look at a lot of these other games. Let's see. I mean, what's a recent game I could look up that the sales are just not up to par? I mean, well, actually, how about Zero Killed? How about Zero Killed? Zero Killed is the poster boy of the PC VR industry. It's got negative, it's got 14 reviews. You know, the problem is people are bringing out games and they're selling handfuls. You know, they're selling handful of games. There's just not enough of us, guys. There simply isn't enough of us. This is a really hard PC market to deal with for developers that want to do AAA. Yeah, Transference, there's a good one. Phil Yarn coming through. Transference, oh my God, so freaking underrated, right? And so criminally undervalued, in my opinion. Transference, so fucking badass, in my opinion. Okay, so let's go over here. This is Transference, and it's got mostly positive. It should be very positive. People, I mean, this should be very positive. The only complaint you could possibly level is it's too short, but I got enough hours out of this. No problem whatsoever. I am down, okay? Spectre Vision, I am down with this. This is a great game, but look at the reviews. 56. 56, man. This is a high-end freaking game. A lot of money was spent on this. A lot of talented people worked on this. But it's being marketed to a fragment of an audience out there. We are a tiny ass audience, and we've got to deal with it. Honestly, we've gotten more than we deserve. We've gotten way more than we deserve. Look at Stormland. Think about Robo Recall. Think about all the stuff that we've gotten so far. Remember the CCP Games guy yesterday. Remember the CCP Games story where he said if VR ever becomes a thing? I can't remember where that story is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But let's not forget about that story, guys. I mean, that's a very recent story, and it's timed on the same day. It's the same day. I mean, how crazy is that? Oh, no, wait, it was Road to VR that had it. It was Road to VR. But the CCP Games guy was like, if it ever comes back. Okay, here it is. The CCP Games guy. Let's switch back over here just for a second. Just wanted to reiterate this. We expected VR to be 2 to 3 times as big. 2 to 3 times as big as that it ultimately was. And he's saying if it does take off, and I mean if, we will reassess at that point. If it does take off, and I mean if. Now, personally, I think this guy is out of his cotton picking mind. Because VR and AR, it's a runaway train. It's unstoppable. VR and AR is going nowhere. It is going to dominate everything. But it's going to take some time. It's a little bit longer than we all thought it was. It's going to take longer to convert the masses. And that's where we go back to standalone. Okay, so people in chat, let's see here. KidToK says, look, I've got no interest in Quest. Can't connect it to play any of my racing sims. Let's see. So, I mean, some people in chat are saying, look, man, I don't want the goddamn Quest. This is disappointing. I don't want the Quest. Okay, 10-6. 10-6 says, Anthony is still butthurt about not being able to fix his PC without buying even more hardware and reformatting. No, it's not about that, man. I've been complaining about friction since the very beginning. Do you guys remember there was an episode a while back? This is a number of months ago. Let me take a sip of water because I'm dying of thirst. Okay. There was an episode a while back. Oh, it was about the Oculus Quest. It was when we first heard about the Oculus Quest. One of my takes on the Oculus Quest is that I kind of feel like the Oculus Quest is the real beginning of VR. in some ways, now this is removing the fact that I'm a PC gamer. It's removing the fact that I like playing Transference. It's removing the fact that I like playing Subnautica. Look, I'm going to miss these high-end PC VR games just like you guys are. I'm going to miss stuff like Stormlands and Robo Recall and all of that. If PC VR were to die, I mean, I'm loving Windlands 2. I'm loving Pixel Rip 1989. Do you think I really want PC VR to die? No, but I'm approaching this from like a logical perspective, from a wider view, not from a perspective of being a PC gamer. I'm approaching this from a perspective of like mass market adoption. And in some ways, I kind of feel like the VR that we've had right now has maybe done more to hurt widespread adoption of VR than help it. And that maybe it would have been better off if all of these companies, Sony, all of them, if nobody had ever brought anything out until it was wireless, until it was standalone, until it was all built in. Because you know what, as hyped as we are to put on all these wires, and we'll put on a body suit, we'll put a tracker on our damn shoulder, we'll put a couple trackers on our feet, we'll buy these aim controllers, we'll get a freaking Phil 3 rig where we're rolling around in a roller ball. You know, we'll do all of this type of shit. We will go out of our way to try to experience some crazy ass shit. The problem is Uncle Bob ain't gonna do all that. Your cousin Rick ain't going to do all that. And we need everybody and their mama to jump in on this thing if we're really going to get all the stuff that we really want long term. What we all want long term is for VR to just ultimately take over 100% completely. So a game like Red Dead Redemption would be in VR. It would be built for VR. That's what we want. That's the future we want. We want Fallout 4. We want Skyrim. We want all of these games. We want there to be hardly any flat gaming at all so that every developer is really dialed into VR. That is the mass market. The only way we're going to get there is with these standalone devices. Simple standalone devices. Friction-free kind of devices. You put the thing on, you turn the thing on, bam, you're in it, you're ready to go. There's no drivers you got to download. There's no special patches you got to implement. Everything needs to be seamless, man, and we're not there. We're not getting the mass market. That's the problem here. Okay, let's see. Crunchy says, come 10 years later to the $1,000 Oculus Quest X. Paradise Decay says, I'm going back to 3D TV. Now, where did I put my Elsa 3D glasses? King Hell says, PC VR dying? Why would it? It's just a screen. It'll get rolled up into the Quest, perhaps modular. Hussein X says, no HTC Vive revival. Only revival for them is to be bought out. Wait a minute, Hussein X, didn't you see that picture of all those people walking to that convention? See, the one thing that can save HTC's ass is the fact that China is so incredibly gung-ho on VR, and HTC is in the right place at the right time. They have all the contacts they need in China. They can take full advantage of the arcade market in China, of the location-based market for VR in China. Dude, HTC, I used to think HTC was freaking done. I thought HTC was like, put a fork in them. They are done. But now that I'm thinking about all this China stuff and all the investments that they're making in China, it might be a decent time to buy some HTC stock at its all-time lows, because China is down with VR and HTC is right there. Okay, so VRium is saying by 2020, Quest will have the level of Rift power. No, okay, here's my disagreement. Now, VRium, you bring up a good point, because actually you made a comment. Let me go to one of my shows yesterday, because VRium made a comment there, and I kind of disagree with part of his comment, and I want to talk about that real quick. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find VRium's comment yesterday. HMD Odyssey Plus. I was going to copy this and make it almost like I do those little, but it's too long to be able to do that. Okay, so here it is. VRium. Here it is. 20 hours ago. Rift canceled? Question mark. What is more profitable? Refreshing headset every year or every 5? It's easier to have a new standalone headset every year by simply updating internal chip, detail in design and operating system as phone does. PC headset doesn't have chips or operating system but has to make profound technology upgrade to justify a refresh. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this real quick, and actually, well, before I get into answering or commenting on your comment there, I should probably go ahead and put a Quest trailer, since pretty much Quest is the thing that is basically killing your CV2. You know, it's unfortunate, guys. It's unfortunate, but it does seem to be killing your CV2. So let's put a Quest topic on, Quest trailer. Okay, so here's where I argue with your comment, VRM. They're not going to come out with a new Quest every year. Okay, we got to remember, what is their focus? Their focus is Joe and Sally Walmart. Do you guys remember a number of years back when the Xbox Kinect came out and it was a Christmas sensation? At least here in the United States, the Kinect was a straight up major sensation because people could play games just doing this, and it was like this big deal. It was like, no controller, man. Nintendo Wii had their Wiimotes, right? And then Xbox came out with the Kinect, and it was like this really hyped Christmas present that everybody was buying everybody. And they sold like 10 million of them in a single Christmas season. Nobody gives a rat's ass about Kinect now, but it got really hype and really popular. Well, that's what Facebook wants. That's what they want with the Oculus Quest. At $399, this standalone system, everything is all built in. It's in one box you buy at the store. That is what Oculus wants. They want to sell to their Facebook crowd. They want it to be available for soccer moms and for your average dads out there that they're not gaming PC players, you know what I mean? And so this makes sense. It really makes sense. And I don't believe, like, VRium is saying, look, they're going to come out with a new one of these every single year like cell phones. No, they won't. No, they won't. I don't think they will. I think it'll be every 3 years. Now, it won't be every 5 years, maybe every 2.5, maybe every 2 if you're really lucky, but I think it's going to be maybe every 3 years because they're not going to want to confuse their marketplace that much with coming, and it confuses developers. Developers are like, wait a minute, so here we're working on the 835, we're working on this kind of, and then you just come out with a new one. Now we got to work on this one. Then 2 years later, a year later, you come out with a new one. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that is confusion. I think every 3 years, you're going to get a brand new Quest. So we're getting a Quest spring of 2019. So it'd be like spring 2022 is when we're getting the Quest 2. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe it's fall 21. You know, they jump it a little bit earlier.
Everybody, what is going on? What is the latest, bro?
Sorry, I had a loud thing pop into my ear there. But basically, that's the way I see it. I see every other year, it's not going to come out with a new one every other year. So anyway, that's my thought on that. Okay, John Shrubuk is saying, how old is CV1? Well, it was March 2016, right? Lethal Weasel VR says Focus is HTC. Fluke Rogi says 2.5 years, give or take. Yeah, if you're talking about what I'm talking about, how coming out with a version every other year, 2 years, yeah. 2.5 years, yeah, but it's not going to be every year. That's just too confusing. I don't think that's going to happen. Oculus, okay, so Rudel Zavedno, Oculus Rift 2 standalone, very afraid if that scenario. It's the future, man. It's the future. You know what? I think there will be another PC-related product. Here's the good news, guys. The good news is everybody that is so devastated by this, that PC VR, it kind of suffered a major blow yesterday. I mean, this is a major blow. PC VR really did suffer a major blow. And we're not getting the CV2 that we're really interested in. Now, here is the upshot. The upshot is, you know how all of us have been saying, hey, why don't we get an Oculus Rift 1.5? You know, put the better lenses in from the Oculus Go, maybe bump the resolution up to Samsung Odyssey resolution, to HTC Vive Pro resolution, maybe have your own little anti-screen door technology on there as well, maybe even throw in some other kind of bonus like eye tracking or something, and come out with a Rift 1.5. And you know, now that the official CV2 is off the table basically, I think a Rift 1.5 is coming. I think it is coming much sooner. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if very early in 2019 we now get a Rift 1.5. But I don't think Oculus will make a super big deal out of it. But I think they will bump that resolution up slightly, and they'll improve the lenses and all of that, and it will be a better version. Maybe they'll lower the weight considerably, maybe make it a little bit more comfortable, add a couple of little extra niceties to it. So we might get that. It's not going to be the CV2 at all. It's not going to have any of the major improvements you're hoping for, but there could be some minor improvements. But I honestly believe, guys, I mean, this is terrible. It's terrible to think this because this is a real Debbie Downer. Let me go ahead and switch my trailer up one more time. But I think Oculus is moving. I think this is the beginning of the end. This is the beginning of the end. I hate to say it. It is the beginning of the end in terms of Facebook. In terms of Facebook. Facebook wants to distance themselves from the PC. What does the PC bring to Facebook other than just having that raw horsepower? It doesn't bring anything else, man. It brings nothing but headaches. They're operating on someone else's operating system. They know you're a single click away from going over to Steam. They don't have any control of anything on the PC. And then you got to keep buying new video cards. You could have a PC problem like I have that is completely unrelated to Oculus themselves. And you have a PC problem, and maybe you get sick of PC, you stop playing it, and now you're not buying PC games anymore. Honestly, if you're Facebook, you want to get away from the PC as quickly as humanly possible. You want to create these standalone devices where you control the entire ecosystem. Yeah, everybody's crying about the walled garden. Everybody wants the walled garden. This is modern day capitalism. This is commercialism. This is the way it works, man. Everybody wants to be Apple. Magic Leap wants to be Apple. Microsoft wants to be Apple. Samsung wants to be Apple. Everybody wants to be Apple. They want to get that money. They want to have that walled garden. They want you locked into that ecosystem. And don't go crying over to Steam and say that Steam is like your savior, because Steam is as much of a freaking walled garden. You know, don't get me started on Steam. Everybody freaking defends Steam and is like, oh no, Steam isn't a walled garden. Steam is open. Steam is for everybody. Look, bottom line, man, they're taking a 30% cut of everything. They take a 30% cut of everything. It's the walled garden of Steam where they call it open. You go inside, they got openings, but you're in their goddamn garden, aren't you? Everybody wants a walled garden. So let's get over this walled garden idea. Let's get over this exclusivity idea. We're grown adults now. Most of us should be grown adults. Get over that. This is business, you know? Do you want the freaking government to create a VR headset? A standard VR headset? Because that's what you're going to need if you don't just let business do it. And this is the reality of the business. Vote with your dollars, you know, vote with your dollars. Don't go into these walled gardens if you don't want to be a part of them. I consider it a necessary evil. It's the way it is. It's simply the way it is. So anyway, I'll go back to chat. Let's see what people are talking about here. I need to take a sip of water too. So Andy Sky says, I want Odyssey Plus over Pimax. Okay, 10-6 says King Hell agree. Anthony is quite biased towards consoles. Well, here's what I'm biased towards, 10.6. Dude, I had a gaming PC in 2011, 2012, 2013. I was playing Skyrim and I was playing Fallout 3 and I was trying to, high-res texture packs, Maldo, Crysis 2 mods. Dude, I play my share of PC games. It's not about me being biased over consoles. See, here's the thing. If you want me to talk from the PC gamer perspective, yeah. Oh, woe is me. Shit is going bad. This is bad for PC VR. There's no happy way to spin this. We're not going to get as many Stormlands. We're not going to get as many Robo Recalls. The next couple of years are going to be dry. Don't you guys remember? Don't you guys, CJ says, it's the end of VR again. Well, it's a major freaking bump in the road for VR. It's a major bump in the road. Don't you guys remember Oculus Connect 5? Do you remember the next day I was like, where were the freaking trailers? We didn't get no trailers for new Rift games. Where was the date for Defector? Where was the Respawn trailer? I was like, wait a minute, guys, there were no freaking trailers. Wasn't that a little abnormal? Well, now that we find out about this, not so abnormal, is it? Oculus has a huge batch of money. Let's think purely from a business standpoint, and here I am again doing this. Here I am again. But no, everybody, let's put ourselves in the shoes of ZUCK. Okay, put yourself in ZUCK's shoes. Talk like ZUCK, walk like ZUCK. Let's be a ZUCK. Okay, so if you're ZUCK, and you got this pool of money, you got this wheelbarrow of money, and you keep taking your shovel and you keep scooping into this wheelbarrow and you keep slinging it over to these PC VR developers, and they make you a game for 20 million bucks, like a Stormland or something, and you sell like 30,000 copies. It's not cutting the mustard, man. So now ZUCK says, well, wait a minute. There's this standalone device. This is where we're going to go. We're going to go after the Nintendo Switch. We're going to go after Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 and all, because they're going after those things by having a box at Walmart and Target and Best Buy that you can buy for $399. Facebook is a freaking competitor now with Nintendo, with Sony, with Microsoft. They are a legit competitor. They are going into that market. And so if you're competing over there, don't you want to take your wheelbarrow full of money and instead of scooping it and giving it to these PC VR developers that have no clue about a Snapdragon 835, no, take that money and give it to the most promising mobile developers out there that have worked magic with a Snapdragon 835 and get them banging away on some awesome ass Quest games. Remember, the Quest does have some advantages, guys, over being in your PC room tethered to your PC. You can't go to a soccer field with your freaking Oculus Rift and your HTC Vive. Good luck trying to take it to a soccer field. Yeah, you could have a backpack, laptop, contraption type of thing, but are you going to have your two lighthouses on poles that somebody's walking around with you, your Oculus Rift USB sensors? Like, how are you going to do that? How are you going to go to a soccer field? Well, the Quest, you can kind of go to a soccer field, maybe. You could go to a tennis court, maybe. You can go to an empty basketball court, maybe, and pretend you're playing full court basketball or something like that. So the Quest has some advantages. Let's not all cry about all of this. Okay, so Eric K says, I wouldn't buy Quest. Then you're not necessarily in their target market anymore. You're part of a niche. You are probably a hardcore PC gamer. And thank the heavens that you have Pimax. Thank the heavens that you have HTC. Thank the heavens that you do have this Samsung Odyssey Plus. There's going to be other options, ladies. Facebook just gets the hell out of Dodge completely. If they're only going to pay lip service to the Oculus Rift, they're going to continue to release Rift games. That is going to continue. They are going to have a new Oculus Rift at some point, at least one more. But I personally believe it's going to mostly be lip service. It's mostly going to be a PR move. It's going to be a PR move to get past the hate, to not ruin it for the Oculus Quest, which is their real focus, to shut the Oculus fan base up that is so freaking pissed off and wants Quest to die in a boat fire, and they want their CV2 back, and they want Facebook to sell. You know, it'd be funny. Wouldn't this be funny if Facebook sold the name Oculus back to Palmer Luckey and Brendan Iribe, and then they could do a new Kickstarter and you'll be back where you wanted to be, guys. That I just solved it. I've solved the problem, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. I've solved it. Anthony goes delusional in 3, 2, 1. I just went delusional. Here it is. I've answered everybody's dreams. Here's what's going to happen. Facebook starts calling the Quest Facebook VR. Drop the Oculus name, sell it to Brendan Iribe, sell it to Palmer Luckey. They can start up a new Kickstarter with whatever crazy idea they have, and that will work. That's where your new headset is coming from, because Facebook is moving away. They're pivoting in a different direction. It sucks, but that's the reality. But the good news is we have Pimax, we have Samsung, we have these Microsoft mixed reality headsets, we still have HTC Vive. So even if Oculus just left Dodge, it's not the end of the world, folks. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so let's go ahead and bounce back over to chat. And in chat, you know, I got a lot of people hating on me. CJ is saying, stop running on speculation. CJ is saying, oh my goodness. Kevin Mars says, I'm going to take my quest through the woods. To grandma's house we go. Red 3R speculation station. 10-6 says, you're losing people here, Anthony. So let me tell you, Eric K, this is cancer. My guess is a lot of these people that are coming into chat right now and they are hating on Turbo. That's awesome. It's glad to have you guys. You guys are new people to the show. You got to understand here that I mix hype, I mix sarcasm. I have a certain way about me, okay? And so when there's a hype thing going on, when there's something exciting like this where it's kind of a tragedy, we really don't know what the fallout is with this. All we can do is speculate. We don't have the inside answers. I'm going to try to give you intelligent speculation, okay? And at least here's the honest truth. I'm not giving you what you want to hear. I'm not preaching to the choir. I'm telling you the freaking reality of it. If you want to hear from a PC VR gamer that is a bred and wool PC VR gamer that wants to stick their head in the sand and pretend that everything is fine, all I have to do is go back to Transparent Steam page. You know, I go back to Transparent Steam page and, you know, tell me what's going on here. I can go to any of these Steam pages. Look at how many reviews there are for PC games. We got big games coming out that are selling 1,000 copies. Games that cost millions of dollars to make, they're selling like 2,000-3,000 copies. It's not even paying for the freaking janitor that worked on the project for 3 years. The janitor, it's not even paying for that. We got a problem in PC VR gaming. We got a legitimate problem. Facebook is pivoting away. Deal with it. Deal with it. Yeah. Chris Gould says, Anthony, you do not have to apologize when you're right. Well, it's speculation. It's speculation. It is. It's truly speculation. And then a lot of these people don't know me. They don't know my style. They don't know that I have sarcasm and that I kind of like, when there's something exciting, I kind of just go with it and just kind of like, let's have fun with it. Look, I'm a PC VR gamer just like you guys. Do you think I want my Oculus Rift to be basically nothing? Do you think I want like the library that I've developed on my Oculus Rift to kind of be worthless because they're kind of getting out of PC VR? No, I don't want that. But you know what I want? I want the success of VR in general. I want Red Dead Redemption. So here's my this is my excuse. I want Red Dead Redemption in VR. And you know how we get Red Dead Redemption? I want Grand Theft Auto in VR. I want a BioShock game in VR. I want all the biggest games in VR. I don't want to get these crumbs. I want the real shit. And the way we get that real stuff is by having a mass market product that really rallies around just average everyday type of people, and they really get into it. And the Oculus Quest could be that. And so even if Facebook were to never come back to the PC VR market and never cater again to the hardest of the hardcore that just want that primordial, they want that next level Lone Echo 2 kind of experience, if they never cater to that side of people again, they're still doing a hell of a lot by making VR a more mainstream thing, because Vive ain't giving up on this, Steam isn't giving up on this, Samsung isn't giving up on this, Microsoft isn't giving up on this. There's other options. Oculus could completely die from PC VR gaming, and we will live. We will carry on. We will survive. So it's not the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. All right, folks, I got to get off of here because you know what? My throat is dry. I need some water. But this was fun. This was fun. And you know what? This is a journey. I'm on the journey with you guys. And I'm here every day. And I'm going to be covering this from the front lines. And sometimes there's going to be bad days. And sometimes there's going to be good days. And whatever happens, we're going to keep banging away. I'm going to be playing some Witching Tower VR. In a few minutes here, I'm going to fire the Witching Tower VR on my Oculus Rift. And I am going to play a PC-ass VR game. And I will be reporting on it tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. And I might play some 3D NES VR. Again, I might go ahead and find my Donkey Kong ROM, try that one, maybe try a couple of others, try that demo. I highly encourage you guys, try that demo. It's definitely worth the download. And I'm going to report back tomorrow. Might even get into some war dust, so you might be sniping me from 300 yards away very easily, over and over and over again. So I'm still a PC VR gamer. I'm just trying to call it like it is. It's an interesting situation. We will continue to follow it. We will continue to watch it. That's the way it is. Got a lot of new people in chat that don't understand my style, and that's okay. That's going to happen. It's good. I'm glad to have all these new people. Probably a lot of dislikes on this episode, which that's cool as well. I'm running away. No, I am not running away. This is how long this show is. Dude, CJ, keep showing up. Keep showing up, CJ. I have no problem with you showing away. There's no running away, bro. I got takes for days. This is my take, and I will continue to bang away on it. I am on my bully pulpit, and I will bang away. But I do want to say thanks, everybody, for watching the show. We do have a website. It is called VR Game Rankings. My website is still there. It is still operational. I am still going to cover the Oculus Rift and all other systems that come down the pipe. Nothing has changed. I'm still here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, guys. All of you new viewers, subscribe to the channel, like the video. No, actually, go ahead and dislike it. That's good as well. If you dislike it, it is great as well. It shows that you're engaged. See, if you have no like or dislike, if you're just like, you don't even care, that's the worst. That's what we don't want. We want you to like us. We want you to hate us. And we will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Take it easy. Later.